What up, dudes? It's Gaz, and welcome back to the Warframe video. So, in this episode of This Week in Warframe, we're going over the entire weekly reset and basically what to expect as a Warframe player this week. Lotus Eater is still on the way, and hopefully it's not going to be super late in the month because, yeah, it's the main update we're getting in August. If you ask me, it's going to be the next 10 days, so probably like next week from today. So, let's get right to what we have today, though. But before we do, make sure you're still this. Should we do daily Warframe video uploads, weekly reset videos, build videos, etc. in the right place for Warframe content. Also, we're live on stream right now, about to do the weekly reset stuff after this video goes up. So come on, stop by if you haven't already. Alright, so Teshin was kind of late with this weekly reset thing here, so let's see if he's got it yet. Okay, so give him a couple extra minutes at the beginning of the reset. We got Teshin over here at the Kit Gun Riven mod. Man, oh man, was that worth the wait or what? The most common Riven in the game, I'm pretty sure, and the least amount of option. So yeah, not really the best one to spend your steel essence on, but if you still want it, go for it. You need like a Vermislicer or a Spore Lacer Riven, I suppose. And you get your evergreen stuff down here at the bottom. Alright, so yeah, as far as this week in Warframe, guys, you're definitely just looking out for that Lotus Eater's update, probably on the 14th, I'd guess. But beyond that, you got like Dog Days, and yeah, the mall's gone, so you got Dog Days. You at least got Dog Days, so open up some relics, I guess, for Borrow, going to be here later this week. Probably not going to be anything too great at Borrow later this week, but still, a thing you could do in Warframe is to open up some ribbons or relics for Borrow. Additionally, Lotus Eaters will contain Sevagoth Prime, so you should be prepping your Syndicate Medallions and your Rep to get as many relic packs on day one as possible to get that Sevagoth Prime, Epitaph Prime, and Tatsu Prime stuff. Alright, for Arcadia's weekly wares, we had some good stuff last week. Let's see what we got this week. Okay, so you got an Orokin Reactor this week. That could be great for Sevagoth Prime if you're going to be farming him, not buying him. That's going to be 20 Pathos Clamps. You also got a Melee Riven mod for 15 Pathos Clamps, a Exilus Warframe Adapter for 20 Pathos Clamps, a Primary Arcane Adapter for 25 Pathos Clamps, and a 5,000 Kuva drop for 10 Pathos Clamps. Kind of a lot for that, but yeah, at least the Orokin Reactor's here. Nice free way to get that if you don't have enough grind plat. Alright, so yeah, so you might have not realized this for a while if you haven't been watching every news video ever on Warframe, but the blue Archon Shard Owl Archon has been gone for quite a while. And I'm hoping that he's finally back today, or they're finally back today, because they were actually glitched out, and I don't be... Yeah, okay, so they are back, finally. This is the first time this boss has appeared in like over a month, guys. There was that glitch at the end where the minions it would summon would crash people's games, and so they patched it out for a while. So it's finally back, and we got the mission types of Sabotage, Excavation, and the final boss showdown for that blue Archon Shard. Give you things like Armor, Energy Max, and Shield. Or not Shield. Yeah, Shields, I guess, if you ever want to use a Shield Shard for some reason. Nobody really does that, though. Moving on to the Sanctum Anatomica. Let's see what we got for our EDA and our Bird 3 Shard. But yeah, there is going to be some new Incarnons added to the game in like November, which should mean the Incarnon rotation should change. But until then, those new Incarnons are not in Lotus Eaters, so you got plenty of time just to grind out the normal Incarnons until they mess with the rotation again. And yes, adding another week to the rotation would mean that it's even longer to get the things you don't have down the road. Okay, so I think I predicted this earlier. I said Exterminate Alchemy Disruption. No, I think I said Exterminate Mere Defense Disruption, and it's the exact same thing that I predicted, basically. I think the boss fight got removed from the game or something at this point. But as far as your mission types, you got Extermination. It was your first EDA mission type, with the missions going to be Fissure Cascade, which means enemies will level up over time. It doesn't really matter that much. You just basically kill them quicker than they can level up. And then destroy the fissures to make the enemies stop leveling up, but just beat the mission quicker and they won't even matter. Second modifier, Myopic Munitions. Enemies will only take damage within 15 meters of them. Pretty annoying, but not that bad. But, you know, a modifier is very annoying. With that one is Explosive Potential. The arm enemies will explode on death instead of just being a normal arm enemy. So you have to be close to them and they'll explode for about a 5,000 damage explosion. Pretty deadly if you're not paying attention. But Exterminate's super easy, so no big deal on that one. Second mission, Alchemy. It's time for your weekly Alchemy mission, guys. You've got Alchemy as your EDA, and you've got Alchemic Invulnerability as the first modifier, making 10% of the enemies impervious to damage unless you throw the proper grenade element at them. They'll have like a little icon above their head. If you throw the Toxin Grenade, their Toxin icon, they'll be damageable. It basically just ends up being immune enemies standing around doing nothing. So get ready for a bunch of immune enemies in this mission. It'll probably be really, really tedious, but it will not be very hard. Next modifier, Post-mortal surges. Enemies explode if they burst of void energy. They love to have exploding enemies in these things, I've noticed, and that will be here as well. But most of them will be immune and not even dead, so, eh. And the last one, alluring Arcanids. As Arcanids charge their attacks, they will pull Warframes towards them. The dog robot enemies, they will charge up their attack that is lightning in an area. It will pull you into that as they're charging. So be careful about that, because they'll probably be immune as well. And for your final mission, Disruption, we've got... Oh gosh, we got a pretty bad one this week, it looks like. We got Unified Purpose. The enemies can target the Disruption conduits. That's really bad. There are times where they can blow up the conduit before you even see the Demolus. So be aware of that. Treat them as like mini mobile defense targets now, because the enemies don't usually target them, but they can for this, and they can also make you fail if they destroy all 4 of them in one round. So be careful about that. Next modifier, Hostile Regeneration. Enemies will slowly regenerate health. That one's not as big of a deal, as long as you have good, consistent damage. And the last one, a very annoying modifier, Vampire Limitless. Slow-moving Vampire Limitless. Vampire cloud things will drain health and energy from enemies from allies that are too close. Just be aware of that. You can like stun them, slow them down with gloom, but they will keep hunting you down. They move pretty quick, so yeah, be very aware of that when you're doing things in this mission. I know there's not been a boss fight for over a month. I feel like it's just like a conscious decision by DE at this point. All right, for our personal modifiers, let's see what we got. We got Knife Step Syndrome, losing 2 health while moving. Jumping will pause the effect, not too big of a deal. Personal modifier, Ammo Deficit. Ammo restores by drops in gear are reduced by 75%. Okay. Hopefully you got an Incarnon for infinite ammo. Energy Exhaustion. Lose 2 energy per second for each enemy within 10 meters of you. That can be pretty annoying for some of the... Like, for this one, for Alchemy, with those immune enemies just, like, standing around, that will be pretty annoying. You'll be draining energy constantly. And then the last one, Frame Curse Syndrome. Activating an ability inflicts 50 damage upon you. Okay, so we got no... gear embargo, so that's going to be an easy EDA right there. But either way, I want my boss fight back someday, DE, please. As far as my weapon types, I got some kind of okay stuff. Alright, let's move on to the Bird 3 Shard. Let's see what Bird 3's got for us today. We can move on to the Deviri stuff. So we got a blue shard at Bird 3, so you got blue shard at Bird 3 and a blue shard at the Archon Hunt. So definitely a blue weekend. A blue week if you ask me. Alright, but for Incarnons this week, we got a little bit of... got a little bit of really good stuff, a little bit of kind of not so good stuff. So let's go over that stuff. But reminder too, before you go over this, that there is also the normal path circuit as well, if you can get some of these frames that are kind of annoying to farm. Let's see what we got. So we got Excalibur, Trinity, and Ember. Now these are all pretty easy to farm, but I'm going to go ahead and tell you that Trinity comes from the Ambulus boss fight, and that fight takes a while. So I'd recommend, if you're going to be picking any of those frames to get from normal circuit, I'd say go for Trinity, because Ambulus fight, they made it take less time recently, but it still takes quite a while. You also need Animal Beacons to farm him. Just go for Trinity, honestly. Yeah, I don't really see any other reason to go for any of the other characters besides Trinity. You get this guy from the Fire Boss on Saturn, and then what planet is this guy from? I think he's from, like, Lech Krill or something on, like, Ceres or something. It's really not hard to farm, but yeah, just go for Trin, guys. It's not like she has the best helmet out of it. She's getting a mini rework in December, though, so that's great. Alright, for the Steel Path Incarnon, Steel Path Deviri, let's take a peek at what we got. Reminder too, guys, if you have all these already, you can just get Kuva and Ribbons instead if you prefer that. Alright, so we got the Akenbrut Incarnon, the Soma Incarnon, the Vasto Incarnon, the Nami Solo Incarnon, and the Bursted Incarnon. So, just going right off the bat, before we even talk about what they do, get the Bursted Incarnon, guys. This is one of the best primaries in the whole game. Get this if you don't have it already. You're going to really enjoy it. Let's go over them all each individually, though, if you want to know more about these. Alright, so we got the Akenbrut Incarnon. It's a Sword and Shield Incarnon. The Incarnon form will let you launch Spectral Axes that deal okay damage. They're definitely not as good as Exodia Contagion, or probably not even as good as the Ceramic Dagger Incarnon, but they're okay for what they are. That's to be launched during aerial attacks or slide attacks. And this thing looks really cool, it's just not really the best. It's usable for sure. The top tier Incarnons give you big crit chance increases, and some of the other ones have some weird things like 300% combo count chance while blocking on shield break. Like weird things like that. It's not really a meta one, it's an interesting one that I don't ever use. So if you want to try it out, be my guest. It is a melee Incarnon at the end of the day. Soma Incarnon, this is the one that is probably the most underwhelming in the game as far as how hyped it was. We have a special Incarnon form on this one that makes the Soma become a slash shotgun, but get a load of this. You might get slash and multi-shot, but you lose crit chance and fire rate. Gain increased status chance and multi-shot while slowing fire rate. So you reduce your fire rate and you reduce your crit chance, and what do you get for it? Multi-shot and status chance. And it's just not really that great. You can still use Hata Satya on this, but I would not recommend that you run this one, guys. I'd recommend that you go for this is one of your lower priority ones, unless you really want like an auto rifle. But remember, too, there is a full auto gun setting in this game now, so even the bursting can be full auto with the right settings. But if you do go for it, some of the top tier Incarnons are going to be Fresh Havoc, giving increased base damage. This has like no base damage at all. And, you know, there's Fortress Salvo for a big punch through, I guess. But yeah, not really the best weapon, guys. There are some interesting things to try with it, at least. Vasto Incarnon, a very, very powerful, hard-hitting single-target pistol. But that's the thing. It's very single-target. If you have an easy time killing Acolytes or Demolus or Thrax, you don't need this. Because the AoE weapons can kill those guys just as fast is the thing. So, like, if you're at level 10,000, Demolus die instantly. The Dual Tox to the Thrax die to the Dual Tox. And the Dual Tox just is better than this. But let's just not compare it to the Dual Tox entirely. What does this thing do? It's got Death Trap Trigger. When you swap to this thing from your primary, you get crazy crit chance and crit damage. Additionally, the Incarnon form is Fan the Hammer. You get 4 shots of this crazy burst mode that can one-shot Demolus very easily with the right build. And can one-shot Thrax as well. The problem with Thrax, they jump around so much. Demolus is just so much easier to stun and kill. That jumping around Thrax, I don't like this one against Thrax as much, to be honest. But great for Acolytes too, nice easy one-shot. But yeah, a single target pistol at the end of the day. For the Nami Solo Incarnon, the main thing people use this for, and what I use this for, is going to be for melee influence. It's got really good range when you Incarnon form this. It gets 3 extra meters of range, and it has good status chance too, so you can proc melee influence electric from really far away. Beyond that, it's just a pretty good machete, honestly. So, machete with good base stats and crazy high range. Got good status chance as well. It could be great for melee influence. I'd recommend it for that. Beyond that, I don't really recommend it for much else. But yeah, still pretty good. Probably one of the better recommendations this week. I'd say it's better than the Ack and Brunt, at least. And the burst of them I told you to get already. The Incarnon form for this thing becomes a full auto fire rifle, basically, that has really good stats, really good crit stats, really good fire rate, really good everything, basically. And it has tons of ammo, too. I think you get like 600 ammo for this thing in Incarnon form. So that could be going pretty wild for a while. So highly recommend getting this one, guys. The top tier Incarnon's Absolute Valor, giving big crit chance increase. With a Riven, this thing can red crit constantly. So as far as recommendations this week, number 1, number 2, Nami Solo and the Bursted Incarnon. But if you don't want to have this, kind of generic melee weapon, go for the Vasto, I'd say, instead, for a really good single target pistol. But yeah. Number 1, definitely not the Burstin. Number 2, going to be up to you between these couple right here. Hope that was helpful to you guys. Let's go over our Nightwave stuff. And yeah, there is no Nightwave end date in sight. I'm going to guess probably about like 2 to 3 more months on this Nightwave season, guys. So no rush in doing these challenges. All right, for your first challenge this week, you got the Hacker Challenge. Complete 10 consoles. Pretty straightforward there. Venus Bounty Hunter. Complete 3 different bounties in the Orb Valis. Reminder that Profit Taker does count for that. That's really good. Ascendant is your first Elite Weekly. Complete 4 Halls of Ascension on Lua. That's what I definitely recommend. I'm going to recommend you check out the wiki page on that or a YouTube guide, because just if you don't know how to do any of these, they can be a little bit hard to figure out on your own. But not too bad, though. You don't need a guide, technically. And then for the last Elite Weekly, kill or capture an Eidolon Hydralist. Let's see what they explain to you here. Venture onto the plains of Eidolon during the night and defeat all 3 in sequence. Offer the shard for each victory to summon the next challenge at the Lake Altar. Definitely going to want a wiki page or a YouTube guide on that one as well. And for your normal weeklies, the permanent weeklies, you got kill 30 Eximus, complete 15 missions, and kill 500 whatever enemies. Pretty straightforward. Alright, so as far as your Nightwave Cred store, I see a Dante helmet. So there's a Dante helmet up for grabs if you want to grab that. I love this Dante helmet, so I'd highly recommend it. But we got your Evergreen stuff at the top as always. And let's see if there's any other interesting helmets here besides the Dante one. Looks like nothing too crazy here. As far as augment mods and aura mods, you got Rifle Amp, Physique, Holster Amp, and Shotgun Scavenger. As far as which one of those augment or aura mods is the best, I'd say Holster Amp's definitely the best out of this bunch, because you can swap up to get a crazy good weapon damage buff that works on some abilities too, actually. And you got Bursting Mass and Dizzying Rounds for the augment mods. Dizzying Rounds is definitely great. If you're looking to use the Bronco Incarnon, you must have this. If you're not looking to use the Bronco Incarnon, it's not really amazing. It can give you guaranteed finishers, though. That's kind of nice. And Bursting Mass and Viewless Quanta. I'm not really using the Viewless Quanta much, to be honest. But it's still an acceptable augment mod for that weapon. Now, as far as Mastery Fire, you got the Plasma Sword Blueprint and the Pangolin Sword Blueprint. Normal, of course. And you've also got Wolf Beacons if you want some of the Wolf Geyser. If you watch my Wolf Sledge video from like last month, the Wolf Sledge is nuts. The Wolf Sledge is really crazy good right now. If you don't have this, they also made it where the Wolf gives a guaranteed weapon part when you kill him, okay? So Grabbing some wolf beacons wouldn't be too bad of an idea if you got the Nightwave credits sitting around, as the wolf sledge is really, really strong. And also, as far as the Conclave mods down here, we got Skull Shots, Directed Convergence, Recharge Barrier, and Deceptive Bond. All not really worth getting, in my opinion. That's going to be basically your weekly reset, guys. Let's go take a look at the Invigorations in the back of the ship. But yeah, you got Dog Days going for like the rest of the month. You got Lotus Eaters probably like the next 10 days, I'd assume. And yeah, we'll probably get some substantial information on that in like the next week, I'd guess, as well. So, either way, enjoy the Warframe that we have currently, and hopefully the Lotus Eater update will be really good. Let's see what Invigorations we have. And remember, these are random per player, per week, so just because I have this doesn't mean you're going to have it as well. Alright, so we got Loki with primary damage and reload speed. I don't really use primaries on Loki. I usually use secondaries, but that could still be kind of okay if I was using a primary on Loki. Ability strength and sprint speed on Mag. Ooh, that's a lot of ability strength on Mag, so that might be kind of fun to try out. Mag's very good for level 10,000 endurance runs. And for the last one, we got range and parkour on Nidus. That might be really good for endo farming, actually, to get that crazy big range on larva, even more range on larva than ever before, and then also parkour velocity to get to the camping spot really quick. I actually like that one. I might have to try that later in the week. But yeah, either way, guys, hope you have a fun time playing Warframe this week. I'll see you in the next video, which will be tomorrow. And yeah, if you're on the live stream, let's go grind out some weeklies. All right, guys, take it easy. Peace.